Hey guys, welcome back. Today in The Untidy Artist, we're continuing on with our Christmas theme for our dolls, and we will be making a Clara doll from the Nutcracker Ballet. The Nutcracker is a very memorable, fun part of my childhood, and so this doll was very nostalgic for me to make. Please check out some of my other holiday tutorials. I have DIYs for other fairy dolls as well as other Christmas decorations, so please make sure you check those out on my YouTube channel or at untidyartist.com. Let's grab some supplies and get started. Now, the first thing you'll need for this fairy doll is a fairy doll body. If you've never made a fairy doll with me before, please check out my basic fairy doll tutorial where I teach you how to take a piece of floral wire, a wooden bead, and some embroidery floss and turn it into a sweet little doll. With this doll, we're giving her curly hair, so I haven't actually put my doll together yet. To make curly hair, and we're doing these big pretty ringlets, you'll want to check out my curly hair fairy hair tutorial, and you can do that by clicking on the video in the upper right hand corner there. And in that video I teach you how to take embroidery floss and make it curly so you can give your doll curly hair. Then I've got some pink and some blue. I'm going to dress my doll in the blue, and the pink is for her ballet shoes. And then I've got some pretty big fluffy blue flowers and some pink flowers. And I wanted a dress that was kind of Victorian looking and kind of looked ruffly on the ends of it. As I was looking up different Clara doll costumes, they used a lot of pink and blue, so I really wanted to duplicate that. You'll also need a glue gun. I like mine set on low, a pair of sharp scissors, and then I have some ribbon to embellish my doll. At this point I wasn't sure if I was going to use the blue or the cream. I like to have a variety because I kind of play with it at the end. So the first step is to create your doll. So I'm taking my curls and I'm going to fold my wire in half, loop the hair through it, slide on my bead just like I do in my basic fairy doll tutorial, and then I'm going to twist the wire into some arms and some legs. So I have my sweet little fairy doll. So if you've never made a fairy with me before, make sure you check out that basic fairy doll tutorial because I do go into a lot of detail on how to create the doll. And then just like I do in that video, I'm going to wrap the color that I've chosen for her skin. So as soon as she's all wrapped, I'm going to take my blue thread and I'm going to give her a top. So she's going to have long sleeves, and you can see I just wrapped the thread around just like I do when I'm covering the doll to put on the color for her skin. You're going to do the same thing with the color you choose for her clothing. And then I'm going to grab the pink, and I like to put a small dab of glue on the very tip of her foot and fold the thread over it. This will give the tip of our shoe, it'll cover the tip of our shoe. And then I'm going to wrap up evenly in a single layer over the piece of thread, and I'm kind of just holding it down. And when I get up a little ways, I'm going to trim off that little piece. And then I keep wrapping up. And when I get up around a half an inch or so, I'm going to put a small dab of glue and wrap the thread around, and then I'm going to wrap it up and cross it like you would cross toe shoes. So this gives her some pretty point shoes because this is a ballet after all. And then when you get back to the bottom, put another small dab of glue, and I kind of just wrap that around so that it won't come undone, and add another dab of glue and trim off the excess. So then you'll follow those exact same steps on the other side. So now your Clara doll has two cute little ballet shoes, and she has a long sleeve shirt on, and she's good to go. So the next step, we're actually going to set her aside and grab our flowers and pull them apart. Now with this, when I started this doll, I wasn't really sure how many of the flowers I was using and which ones I wanted to use. This big, fluffy, pretty blue flower had a lot of shorter layers and a lot of longer layers. And I had two of them, and I didn't know at that point if I wanted to use a lot more of the small layers or a lot more of the big layers. So I kind of just took them all apart, and I took the pink ones apart. And then, as I do with every doll, I just start layering the petals together with the biggest layers on the bottom and the smaller layers on the top until I get the look of the skirt that I want. So you can see I'm just kind of playing around with it here, layering the different layers together. Then I'm going to cut an X in the middle of each flower petal so I can slide it up and around her waist. And once I have that done and the layers in the order that I want, I start to put them on the doll with the smallest layers first. So with this, I did mostly blue, and I just added a little bit of pink to kind of just pop in the dress. I wanted it mostly blue, and it kind of makes it look like a lacy pink layer. And then I'm going to take my glue gun and just tack the petals into place using small dabs of glue just to hold the skirt together. And this is what she looks like at this point. Now I grabbed the blue sheer ribbon, and I'm just going to wrap it around her waist and tie it in a bow in the back. Once again, we're wanting this to be a Victorian looking party dress for our little Clara. So I put a small dab of glue in the front to hold the ribbon in place, and then I just tie it in a bow in the back. And then I add another small dab of glue to hold the bow in place in the back, and now we're going to style her hair. So I push the wooden bead down because we're going to put a small dab of glue in the back of her hair right at the top, and then slide the bead back up so that it connects the hair and the bead together and her head doesn't move up and down. And then I'm going to take just the longer pieces of the curls, kind of pull them down a little bit, because we need this part to layer underneath. So just like you do in my curly hair fairy doll tutorial, we're just taking off a few of these curls. The only difference with this doll is that we're not separating the curls. We want her curls to stay really pretty and in big ringlets. And then I just take all of the little curls, and I'm going to very carefully and very slowly go back through and add them in the back to make it look more full. And then I give her a little haircut, evening everything up, and her hair is done. And that's it, guys. You're all set. You have a Clara doll from the Nutcracker. I had so much fun making this. The Nutcracker was always a really fun tradition with my family. My brother and sister were actually in it one year, and it was fun to go see them. Please check out some of my other tutorials. Give this a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. That would be awesome. And watch for my Sugar Plum Fairy doll tutorial coming very soon for the holidays. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I post pictures of upcoming videos. Also, it's a great place for you to share your own fairy dolls and your own Untidy Artist creations. So if you do want to share a doll, make sure you share it with #UntidyArtist or #UntidyArtistFairyDoll, and I would love to see your creations. And thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.